Let's skin a squirrel. I'll show you how we skin a squirrel. Alright, so we have a string hanging here with a loop in it. Loop is about 1/2 inch long. We'll take our squirrel. We'll put the string back through the loop. We'll put the squirrel's foot in the loop. Then we're going to pull it tight until we get the knot on the other side of the loop. And this is pretty difficult with a camera in the way. We're going to push it down past it's actually his heel. Push it down past his heel and we're going to pull it tight. Alright, so that's step one. We've got a squirrel hanging by a string. We skin the squirrels this way because this doesn't get hair on them. This is the easiest way, the cleanest way to keep hair off of the squirrels. And we're going to adjust their loop up to here. Alright. Now, first thing we're going to do is we'll make a cut from this heel through here to this heel. I'm trying not to dig in too deep, but we might dig in a little deep. And this is where you have the most danger of getting hair on your meat. You gotta take your time. There's a lot faster ways to skin squirrels than this, but this is by far the best way if you don't want hair on your meat. And squirrel hair is a dog to get off. It's hard to get squirrel hair off of meat once you get it on there. Alright, now that we got our cut, we're going to start up here where we got him hanging. And we're just going to work it down. We're going to be careful not to get no hair on him while we're cutting. Any hair we get on our fingers or no, what we're going to try, we're going to wipe it off. We'll take our time. It takes a lot longer to skin a mess of squirrels than it does a single deer. And not get hair on him, on the squirrel. This is where you have when you first get started, I hear a squirrel barking behind me. When you first get started, this is where the chance of getting hair on him is the worst. Because you got your hair close to your meat. It's a lot easier on young squirrels. They'll come on off. It's hide wheel, but on older squirrels like this dude, you're going to have to cut the hide off. But you don't want to cut the hide anymore. Every time you cut the hide, you're letting hair loose. See there? That's where a pellet went through. That big old wad of hair under the hide. We got that off there though. Alright, we're gonna keep that hide. We want to keep that hair and the hide away from the meat. If we think we get a little bit on there, we're gonna scrape it off. The hide's ripped here because of the pellet went through it, so we're gonna have to be careful. We'll get ourselves back on to going down the hill here. You see how the hair just explodes off of a squirrel? And it'll just float right back onto his meat. And then once it's on that sticky meat, when it's on that wet meat, that moist meat, it is a pain in the tail to get it off. Take your time. There's a dozen different ways to skin a squirrel. And like I said, most of them are a lot faster than this. But it'll speed up once we get away from these legs. See how that hair just peels right off his eye? He just lets his hair loose. We don't want none of that on our meat. All right, now we're getting down to this. Once we get down here to the tail, we're going to take, see, make sure you can see that. We're going to cut just above the base of his tail, where his tail and his backbone come together. And you're going to dull your knife. You're going to have to sharpen your knife after you're done skinning a squirrel. You get 2 or 3 squirrels out of one knife sharpening if your knife is good and sharp when you start. And you're going to have to sharpen your knife again. See how he loses hair? See how that squirrel loses hair? You don't want that on your meat. Got a rag or something? You keep a rag over there and that you can just reach out and wipe that mess off. Now you can switch legs now, loops, but every time you handle him, it's a chance of picking up hair and putting it back on the meat. So I just kind of work it out, and that makes it faster when you switch legs. I just kind of work it out until it'll come free on its own. Here's another good spot to get hair on it. When the squirrel's business tries to move on you, a male squirrel, things start moving on you, and it gets and you can be careful. If you're not careful, you can lose your hold of things and pick up meat and pick up hair. So we're working our way down. We're working our way back up his leg here. We're being careful not to get any hair on him. All right, so we've worked our way through there, and then we're going to put this. The only time we're going to actually touch the hair, and we're going to pull that back up through there. And then while we got his leg stretched out, we're going to scrape it, make sure we didn't get no hair on him. We're going to scrape it, make sure we got no hair on him. I keep forgetting to look at the camera, see if y'all can see what I'm doing. All right. Okay. Now, as long as we ain't got no hair on our hands, we're gonna give him a little scrape, make sure there's no hair, because it's the only way you can get. It's the only way to get hair off of squirrels. You cannot wash it off. You got to scrape it off. Make sure there's no hair on him. Nope, no hair. All right, now it's faster from here. And you're gonna grab a hold of his tail. And you're just going to work his hide down. His hair's rolling over because his hide ripped. Make sure there's no hair there. Alright. Now, we're just going to work him down. And it's just going to roll his hair inside out. See, we're getting down to where we're getting. Hair's getting further and further away from the meat. That's a good thing. Now we got a hold of him, and y'all are getting to where y'all can't see. And we're just working it down. And we got flies visiting us. And we're working it down. There's also a good way to skin a critter and keep its hide if you're trapping. You don't get no meat on him like this, on his hide, on the inside to mount him much. And we're just working him down. And we're getting ready to get to where we can get his hide completely off here in just a second. Yellow jacket, go away. All right. Okay. Oh, we're pretty close. There we go. We pull that. Pull his arm off. Pull his hat off his arm. And now we're down to, and then we're going to check him one last time when we got him stretched. Make sure there's no hair. We give him a little scrape. Make sure there's no hair on him. Lady Antioch would hand me back this squirrel if she found hair on him in the refrigerator. She said, return to sender. And she ain't going, we don't want hair on our meat. Now we're going to work around his neck here. And we're going to pop his head off. Now, I'll let him hang for just a second while I get my pliers. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to clip off this leg right here, this foot. That's the first one we're going to take off. Then we're going to take this one off. Above, there's a little gland right there. We don't want that gland. We'll take that off. And then we'll take this one off, but he's going to fall, so we're going to let him down. Well, I'll clip him for you so you can see. But alright. Now, we got one foot. That's all the hair we got left on the carcass. That little bit up there by his foot. Set him down and reposition the camera. Alright, so we've gotten the hair off of him. We got a fly trying to mess up the works here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our knife, and right up here where his head used to be, we're going to put our knife in there. And we'll split his ribs. Now, we don't want to put the knife in there too far because we don't want to bust his little intestines there. Intestines, whatever he's got. His intestines. We want all that stuff to stay in one piece. Now, we go right up his hip, split that with a knife. And break it open. Now he's got his bladders in there. We don't want him to pee all over himself. So we're going to pull that out first. Get rid of that. Now, we got his intestines. We're working them all out. We're going to get them out where they kind of pop through his belly there. And then we're going to take our fingers, our 2 fingers, and we'll put them down behind his diaphragm. And we're just going to roll his innards and make them his outards. And there we go. And that is one clean squirrel with little to no hair on him. Now, we got our bag to put him in right here. Don't want to make him mess around and get no hair on him now. No dirt, no nothing. We're going to take our clippers and we're going to clip him well away from his hair. And there we go. One squirrel for the pot. No hair on him. So it takes about 10 minutes to skin a squirrel the right way. One squirrel. And I mean, you can split him down his legs, behind his tail, step on his tail, yank his hat off, and do all that. But then you risk ripping your squirrel in half. You risk rupturing the intestines. You risk getting hair on him, which is the worst of all. So this is the way we do it. Keeps hair off of him. Makes it easier in the kitchen when it comes time to cooking. So anyway, till next time, y'all stay safe in Squirrel Woods. And God bless. There's a fly over there messing with my squirrel bag. We can't be having that.